our PSS-AS station, and we'll go to the first tab, and this is the keys. Now this is page 1. See if I can go to any of the page and look at all 12 keys and set them up. But I'm going to go to page 1 because this is where I'm going to put my jump buttons on the screen. And as you can see right here, they're set up for paging by default. But if they're going to be a jump button, they have to be set for others. I like to set up the entire front screen on the PSS as other. And this will be where I put all my jump buttons onto the screen. Now, if you want, I can make the bottom one 12. That could be an all call button if we want, and I'll leave that paging as well. After I've done this for my other ones, I will go to my trigger and control pad first. And here's my 11 keys that I set up for other. Every key that you set up on every page for other will show up when you click on the trigger and control. If I go to all my other screens, you notice none of these because they're all set up for paging, except for page 1. The first thing I want to do is I want to set this for control, and the event on this one will be my jump 1 button. I will skip a button, and I will make this a control, and this will be our jump 2 button. And now for the link, our jump 1 button, we want to go to page 2, and that's where we'll put some page zone buttons there. Alrighty. And for our jump 2 button, we want it actually to go to page 3. Okay, so now we've set up our jump buttons. So now what we need to do is go in and start setting up our paging buttons. And what we need to do there is we need to go up to everywhere we're going to have a page button, and we need to set up the event. So our page buttons are going to start on the last button of the first page. And I'm going to make that my actual all call button. And we'll show you how to do that now. So let's go to the paging tab. And as you can see, a paging on page 1, only key 12 is available for us. Page 2 is where all the other ones start to come in. And this is why you don't want to set this up ahead of time, because the values will be different from what the keys are. So let's go back to page 1. And I will set this value on page 1 to be number 1. And I'm going to set this for all. And I just clicked all zones. That's going to be our all call button. All right, so now we will go to page 2. And I'm going to make this my value 2. And this is going to be 3. And this is going to be 4, and so on. And we'll keep this going. And what I'll do is let's put some more on page 3, and we'll pick up where it says 8, 9. Okay, so now we set that up. So we go back to the keys, and now we have right here on all these keys, no matter what their function is, this is where we actually put what the text inside the button. This is where we place this. We have comment 1, 2, and 3. It's 3 lines of 6 characters on each line that appear on the button. If you have a single line, just put it in comment 2. 2 lines, I like to use comment 2 and 3. If you got 3 lines, then fill all of them. So remember, our key 1 is actually our jump 1 button. So we will just say building 100 page. And remember, our key 3. We'll look back over here. Trigger control was our key 3 for our jump 2. So we will take this one and make it BLDG, and this will be our 200 building. And this one is our all call. There we go. Now let's go to page 2, and these are where we set up the zones. If I looked at paging, zone 2, we had just values 1 through 7. And if we looked at page 3, we had 1 through 9. Okay, so now let's go do our paging keys. We will go to our page 2. And if we looked over here, we saw for page 2 our keys and paging that we have zones 1 through 7 are being used, and that's our building 100. And there are our zones 1 through 9 for our building 200. We will make this zone 101 through 106 for building 100. I like to do this. This is quicker if they're all got the same number. we will do copy, and you can paste. So down, Control V, Control V. I will go to my next page. Okay, so now we got 101. 102. We will go to page 3, and this will be 201. Okay, there we go. We have our keys. Building 100 jump button, building 200 jump button. We got an all call, which goes to all the zones. Our paging, we can see there are 12 buttons going to all zones. And we've got to set up our values now. So our key 1 is going to zone 101, and that will be our zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of our IDA8C. And what we'll do is we will say zone 3 is going to be our building 200, which is going to be on our IDA8S. So we will slide over to the right, and here you'll see zone 1 through 16 of the IDA8 slave unit. And so we will say 8 will be. Now there we go. And if I go back up to building 1, we've already set this for all, even all of the slave units. Every single one of the zones will be triggered by that one key. So that's very, very easy to set up. So if we close this, and you're looking at your console right now, here's a quick picture of what the console looks out before you actually compile and store the buttons on there. So now we will compile, and we will store. And if everything's correct, you should see your buttons appear on your PSS console. So we will turn on the audio, and we will go online. And here's a picture of your page 1 on your console with your 2 jump buttons and your all call. And if I push the building 100 button, there are your zones 101 through 106. And if we hit the return back to the main one and hit the building 200, there are your zones 201 through 209 on that screen. At the bottom right is always your return to main. If we want to check this, what we will do is I will close. Just double click that. We are online, and I can see some zones going here. I haven't wired my slave unit audio through, but we'll get the picture. And I'll open this up. What we will do is I will push the all call button on the front, and I will hit the talk button on the top left-hand corner of my screen, and we should be able to page. You should see the audio meters. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. We hit the talk button again to turn that off. That's good. So now what we will do is I will actually turn on zones 1 and 2. And so you will see these two. Actually, this is my C output module. So you'll see zones 1 and 2 right here active. So I will push my building 100, and I will do zone 101 and 102 and hit talk. This is the zone 101 and 102 test. Check 1, 2, 3. So that's it. That's how easy to set up page buttons and screen jump buttons. Look for other videos on how to do message buttons and other control triggers on the PSS console as well. If you have any questions, please visit our website at www.penton-usa.com. Thank you very much.